For Nordic Fjords hole 1, we're going to be using our APOC with an APOC 7. You're going to have your yellow ring next to the rough. With an APOC 6, it's going to be a little bit into the rough. APOC 5, same thing, a little bit into the rough. We're going to do 2 bars of right spin with your Zerk and about 1.3 bars of backspin with your 15-mile-an-hour wind. We're going to do about 1.5 balls of curl, no overpower, and just take a regular shot. The higher the wind, the more backspin you are going to use, and the less wind, the less backspin you are going to use. So a 15-mile-an-hour wind, we're using 1.3 bars of backspin, so use that as your judgment line. So if it's any higher, I would do more backspin. Any lower, I would back off the backspin. For hole 2, we're going to be using a quarterback and power 1 ball. You can use any power 1 ball of your choosing. We're going to do 0.5 bars of top spin with 0.5 bars of left spin. You're going to go at the very min line, so make sure your sniper is in your bag so you can see your min line. And I'm moving all the way over to the left until the ball guy kicks out again. Once I see that ball guy kick out again, I'm going to stop there and adjust my rings 1 to 1. So it's going to be 1 wind per ring or 1 to 1. So an 11.5 wind, I'm going to pull 11.5 rings. For hole 3, we're going to be using a Megalodon ball. You can use a P5 with any wind resistance you want. We're going to be doing 6.9 bars of top spin with 1 bar of right spin. We're going to start at the +7 yard mark and then adjust our shot with P5 numbers at 10% max adjustment. So again, it's going to be an over adjustment of 10%. So with an APOC 6, it's full top spin. With an APOC 5, I would actually start at maybe the +10 instead of the 7 since you are lacking the top spin. I'm not sure on that shot again, so you're going to have to be a judgment call on your part to figure that shot out for an APOC 5. But an APOC 6 and 7, you're going to be starting at the +7 yard mark, and then you're just going to take a regular shot. For the second shot, we're using our kata, and I did play this at max distance with a +10% over adjustment of my shot. I'm going to have my blue ring next to the rough, full top spin and 1 right spin. I'm just trying to line up as best I can for this shot, how I think it's going to come in. So I decided to have the blue ring next to the rough, and then I'm going to adjust at max distance with a +10% over adjustment. It does clip the rough, but I think if you use about 2 rings of overpower, it should clear the rough and get you on the green. If it does clip the rough, it is an easy end bringer shot with the end bringer rule. Here again, I did use a little too much curl on this shot, so I would back off that curl to maybe about a 1/4 ball of curl, and it might actually clip that rough a little bit better. Or not clip it, but clear that rough. For the end bringer, it does play the end bringer rule, basically the slider of your club with a +20% over adjustment of your shot. Here I played at 25% club with a +20% over adjustment of my shot. For hole 4, I was trying to dial in Tommy's rocket shot. It is on his video as well. It's the P1 firework ball with the backspin boost ball. I'm doing max backspin with as much right spin as I can use with the max backspin. I'm not quite sure on how to actually line this up just yet. I tried all 3 accounts and I keep missing to the left, no matter where I basically end up on my or how much offset I actually give it. So I think it's actually going to be about a square to the right offsets, and you're going to over adjust your shot at max distance with a plus 10% over adjustment of your shot. So this does play at P1 max distance with a plus 10% over adjustment of your shot. I was getting close, but I still haven't figured out that offset. But this is about the safest shot that you can get for this hole, and I have come pretty close, and I have seen people actually hit this shot. So again, if you have the backspin boost ball, I would use it here because it is kind of a fun shot. For hole 5, I am using Tommy's shot again. I really like this shot. It sets up for a nice rough bump opportunity. With your APOC, you're going to do about 6.5 bars of top spin with 3 bars of right spin. APOC 7, you're going to have your white ring at the edge of the rough line. APOC 6, your white ring is going to be just a little bit more over the rough line to the right. Basically, your ball guide is going to be just to the right of that first bush. You're going to be adjusting at P4 numbers at max distance with a plus 10% over adjustment of your shot, and then you're going to push up to max. You're then going to give it full overpower with a ball of right curl. This sets us up for a nice rough bump. You're going to be using any long iron of your choosing, and you're going to be playing this at 0% elevation at the slider of your club. Here I used about 35% slider with a 0% elevation, 3 bars of left spin with 1.8 bars of top spin. Aim your ball guide at the hole with your red ring up near the rough, and then pull your rings. I think I basically had a weird pull angle, or I pulled a little bit too much. I'm not sure on why this missed to the left, but I think I might have pulled actually a 0.1 or 0.2 too much. So again, this plays a nice rough bump. The rough bump does play at 0% elevation at the slider of your club. For hole 6, you're going to want to pick the driver with the most top spin that you have. Here I'm using an APOC 7 with a P4 ball because I'm trying to get rid of this type of ball in my bag because I really just don't use it much anymore. I'm going to have the blue ring up near the rough at the plus 7-yard mark, and I'm going to over adjust my shot with P3 numbers with a plus 10% over adjustment of your shot. And then I'm going to use about 2 rings of overpower. Here I had a left curl on this shot, that's why it got so close to the sand. Make sure you don't put left curl on the shot. So again, you're going to be playing with the driver with the most topspin that you have, and then you're going to basically be playing with a plus 10% over adjustment of your shot. For the approach shot, I'm finding my min line and then spinning my ball guide to the hole. I played this at min distance with a plus 20% over adjustment of my shot. Now I did hit a great left and it did sink with a great left, so I think this actually plays with a plus 25% over adjustment of your shot, since I obviously didn't pull enough since a great left actually went in. So again, the approach shot I would play at min distance if you can, and play with a plus 25% over adjustment of your shot. If you're playing more over to the left and spinning with right spin to the hole, I would actually play that with a plus 20% over adjustment of your shot. For hole 7, we're using our sniper and a P2 ball. We're doing 2 bars of right spin and 3.8 bars of back spin. Our red ring is going to be next to the rough, and our second bounce of our shot is going to be just before the 4th dark row over to the left. Again, we're playing this at P2 numbers at max distance with a plus 15% over adjustment of their shot, or of our shot, and I think with a wind resistance 4, I would bump that up to 20 because it's a higher wind than what the wind resistance 5s are having, and they're actually making the shot with a wind resistance 5 ball. So I think if you're going to play with a wind 4 ball, I would actually play with a plus 20% elevation, and if you play with the wind 5 ball, I would stick with the 15% over adjustment of your shot. For hole 8, we're using a Thor's hammer and Megalodon ball. I'm doing 8 bars of topspin with 1 bar side spin to the left. Our red ring is going to be next to the rough with a Thor 7, and we're going to be adjusting our shot at P5 numbers with a plus 10% over adjustment at max distance of our club. And then you're going to give it half a ball of curl to the left with about 2 rings of overpower. For hole 9, I'm using my Thor's hammer again with a P5 wind resistance ball. Full top spin and half a bar to a bar of left spin. At full extension, my red ring's going to be off the rough to the right, and then I'm going to over adjust my shot at max distance, P5 numbers with a plus 10% over adjustment of my shot. You're going to use full overpower, and I use a little bit of left curl due to the fact that I do hit great right a lot, so it does help with the hitting of a great right. So since I know I'm a great right hitter, I always do a little bit of left curl. This time I did hit great left and I was still safe. So curl depending on which direction you actually hit great on, but I do try and make this great proof. So this does get us down there pretty far. For my second shot, I'm using my kata. I'm going to be playing this at max distance with a 0% over adjustment of my shot. My blue ring is going to be near the rough line, and I'm doing 1 right spin with about 5 bars of top spin. The top spin can vary depending on where you are at in your club, but here my blue ring is going to be next to the rough. I'm playing this at max distance with a 0% over adjustment of my shot, and then I'm going to give it full curl to the right, and I'm going to try not to overpower it, maybe just a tad, but you don't need to really overpower this shot. I did maybe a ring of overpower just to be on the safe side, and it does come in nicely for an easy end bringer chip. Hopefully this guide helps you guys out, and remember, hit perfect and happy golfing.